Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm David. This week on the bench, I've got a very simple project. It is to build a floating frame for this painting. It's actually a project for my sister. So stick with me and we'll get right to it. So like I said, I'm making this for my sister. My sister is an abstract artist, and I will actually put a link to her Instagram page in the description of this video. This is not one of her paintings. It's one I think she purchased from a fellow artist that she's friends with, and she just wants it hung up. So I like to make the floating frames about 2.5 inches deep so that it gives it some depth on the wall. So I've got to allow enough room for this, plus a strainer for it to sit on. I usually keep some of this, this is soft maple. I think it's about 6 inches wide, and it's already milled down to 3/8 of an inch thick. I'm going to start by making my first miter cut here. Alright, to get these exactly the same, I just line these up like so. I mark across here. Then I need to come back this way. So I just put my 45 on it. And just cut that, and I should be exact. I just got this frame temporarily taped together, and I actually called her to see if she was okay with this gap, and this is where she wants it, so we're gonna go with this. Alright, the next thing I've got to do is there's a strainer that will fit here, so I will trim off wood along the bottom, so from the upside down it gives a shelf for the it'll give a shelf for the strainer to sit in. So alright, so I need to leave 7/8 of an inch. This is the top, it'll be the front of the painting, and I need to leave 7/8 of an inch for the painting to sit on the strainer. So that's here. So then I will set my saw blade at 1 9/16 high. I seem to have much better success when I use setup blocks instead of measuring things. So I've got my 1-inch block, my 1/2 inch, and my 1/16. So that's 1 9/16. So I'll just raise the blade up, and then I'll drop it down until this sits level. And there we go. We saw what a terrible job my table saw did. I've never had it burn so bad ever, even on maple. I think I'm ready for a new saw blade. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, just go from here to here maybe. Most of this gets covered up by the strainer that goes inside the frame, and the rest of it is never going to be seen. But All right, I'm going to get the frame out of clamps. Make sure we got good glue joints, and then we'll start working on the splines. Feels good and stable. All right, so the next thing to do is I'm going to cut 2 splines in each corner, and we'll just glue a little slice of wood in there, and it gives the joint a lot more strength and stability. I made this jig a few years ago. Wasn't my idea. I actually saw 2 or 3 people on YouTube using something similar. This is just my version of it. But what happens is the frame rides here, and it clamps down like so, and I'll set the blade height to just shy of this point here, and then I'll just run it across, flip it around, do each corner, and then turn it around so that I'll get 2 splines in each joint. Alright, next thing to do, just going to get a little glue on these and get them wedged in here, and we'll let them dry overnight. Actually, while I'm waiting on the splines to dry, I'll go ahead and start working on the strainer. So this is the back of the frame, and you can see the ledge here. The strainer will sit down on top of that, and then the painting will come in from the other side and sit on top of the strainer. So I'll just make this out of simple poplar. So I'm 20 3/8 by 16 3/8. All right, got the strainer just dry fit in here. Next thing I'll do is get this glued and stapled together. I'm going to go ahead and put my countersinks in the inside part of the strainer. It's just going to be easier to drill than when I have it together. I gave the strainer just a quick sand with some 120. So I got the wedges or the shims trimmed with the saw. So my next step is going to be to install the strainer. Fits in there like that. I'm going to get it screwed in, and then I'll work on sanding the outside. All right, real exciting stuff here. I've got it sanded 120 with the power sander. Made a few little putty repairs, no big deal. So I'm going to sand 180 by hand, then 220, then I'm going to get... I'm ready to start the finishing process on the frame. I've got it, again, sanded to 220, wiped down with a tack cloth. First step is going to be to get a couple light coats of the pre-catalyzed sanding sealer on here, and then I'm going to hit it with the lacquer toner. It's going to get a couple coats of satin clear on here now. The next step is I'm going to pre-drill some holes for the screws to go in and hold the painting in place. Now the next thing I do is I just get the painting in here, get it roughly centered. And then I just start putting shims in. Alright, so that's too thick, so I will start with something a little thinner. And then I just start building them up from here. Alright, so I'm a little light here. I want to be a little extra tight while I'm doing this so that I can get the screws in without pushing the painting out. There we go. I'll get it cleaned off and I'll hang it on the wall and give you a better shot, but there you go. I think it came out pretty good. I'm really happy with it. I think she will be too. All right, it's a wrap on the video this week. Appreciate you coming along to my channel and following me on my journey. This is a fun little project, pretty easy, only a couple hours working time to make this floating picture frame. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one. I'll bring you in now, I'll get out of the way and show you some close-up shots. These things work a lot better when you put sandpaper on them.